and fix it. So I am now I am now sitting in Amsterdam. Last week I was still in Italy, then I went to Belgium. Now I am in Amsterdam, and I'll stay here for a few weeks, and then another new country is coming up. So, like I said, I'm traveling the world. Why? Because freedom. And today is my birthday, and today I don't know, I have a lot of energy, and I want to share something so helpful that helps me day after day after day to achieve my dreams. And so freedom is the one value that I want. Freedom to have the time to do what I want. Freedom to be able to travel to different countries when I want. I do not have to ask for permission to a boss. I don't have to ask for permission to have a day off, ask for permission to travel, ask for permission to have a holiday. I have the freedom to dedicate my time like I want to. I work a few hours a day, and I work when I want to. I go to the gym and work out when I want to, when I decide. And so, oh, so good to see you. And so, something you would like, freedom to make your own decisions, having the freedom to you know, buy your own things. I remember when I was working for a boss that, I needed a pen or I needed a bunch of papers, and, I had to ask for a signature. I had to ask for permission to, buy anything, to do anything. And I felt like I had chains, like, oh gosh, I'm stuck. Like I'm stuck and I felt like suffocated. I didn't have the freedom. Do you relate to something like that, And so all I wanted was freedom. And today I really want to share with everything that I'm doing over these years, especially while I'm in the program of Bob Proctor. I don't know if you know Bob Proctor. He's like the biggest guru. He's over 80 years old, and he still is, sharing his value about how to attract what you want. And yes, it's about the law of attraction because you attract what you really want, but everything has to do with your mind and what you think. And today, I really want to share something so helpful, so valuable that can help you as of now, like right now. I really want to share something that will help you with every goal that you have. Is it financial freedom? Tell me in the chat, like, what is your goal? What is that goal? And I want to talk about the goal, but I really want to talk about that nugget, like that wisdom nugget to achieve your goal and to believe in it. Because in the end, the basic of everything is what you think. Literally, what you think, you become. When I was still in my corporate, I was dreaming about traveling. For me, traveling the world and being in all these different locations. And now I'm sitting in Amsterdam. And last week I was in Italy. And in a few weeks, I'll be in the south of France. And yes, there is a pandemic going on. And still I am traveling. Whereas so many people, today again, I talked to someone like, oh, but it's COVID and the pandemic, and we're stuck and we cannot travel. I don't let the pandemic stop me. Yes, I have to do a test. And yes, I have to have a vaccine. But even without a vaccine, I went to Italy, I traveled, I flew, I took a plane, it's really, oh, you just saw Bob Proctor. Yes, I'm in his program, and he's also, doing a 5-day challenge on Facebook right now. I think it was the last day today, and he's amazing. Like, he's one of the many people I follow. But really, what he says is, think into results. What you think, you become. So, tell me in the chat, what is your goal? Because if you have a goal, I can use that in this live, in this session, to help you achieve it, faster. There are ways to achieve your goal even faster. But what I really want you to get is one important thing. And like I said, today is my birthday, and I'm super excited and I'm full of energy, and I just can't get enough of, you know, Bob Proctor and the mind and the power of the mind, and how we can really achieve anything that you want, even traveling in the pandemic, even quitting your job. It's possible. I'm doing it. I'm over 40, way over 40 as of today. And I'm doing it. I'm living my life. I'm living my dream. And why? Because I manifested. And oh my gosh, you should have seen me a few years ago. I was born and raised in a very rational family, like really logical. Like you have to earn, you have to work hard to earn money. You have to have a job. You have to have a paycheck. You have to work, by the hour and then get paid by the hour. And you have to work hard. And getting money is really hard. And oh my gosh. And then you have to save your money. Do you recognize any of that? Like that was how I was raised. And not at all spiritual, not at all in oh, you have to believe in something and then you can achieve it. No way. It was really about work hard and do your job and do your thing, and also very negative, like, "Ooh, but what if this goes wrong? And what if that goes wrong?" And always the worst case scenario. And now I'm the complete opposite. And actually, only now my life is happy, like fulfilled. I am happy. Why? Because I'm not thinking in the worst case scenario. I'm thinking about the best case scenario. What if I can travel? What if I can work only a few hours a day? And that's what I want for you if you want that freedom. And so thank you for all the good wishes that you're sending me, and financial freedom and working with clients and flexibility. Exactly what you're saying and what you're typing in the chat is exactly the goal that I had. And here's this secret. Okay, I'm going to repeat it a few times. But the big secret, and hold on, okay, because you're going to say this is really simple, Rachel. Is that it? But I'm going to explain it because it's so powerful. Okay, here it comes. You have to focus on your goal. You have to focus on abundance and not on the lack. Okay, what does that really mean? Focus on abundance and not of the lack. I'll give you the example of my own to begin with. When I was still working a job and I didn't like my job, all I was thinking and saying, and the language I spoke in my thoughts, and the language and the words I spoke to other people was, I'm in this job and I don't like it. And this job is just soul sucking and I'm miserable and I'm working for a boss and I'm not liking it. And I was focusing on what I did not like. And this is key. This is so powerful. I was focusing on what did not go well. I focused on what I did not like. I focused on all the things that were going wrong. Now, do you recognize that? Like, and the best example I can give, and this is one that Bob Proctor even repeated again this week, was imagine you have debt. People that are in debt, okay? They have financial debt. They focus on the amount of financial debt. They focus on, oh, I own so much money and I have so many issues financially, and I'm focused. They constantly think and talk about their debt. For me, it was focusing and thinking about the job I did not want to stay in. And when you do that, you focus on the lack. You focus on what you don't want. But the more you focus on what you don't want, the more you get the things that you don't want. And it's so simple, but it took me years to understand. It's so simple. So what you have to do is turn it around and look at the other side and thinking, wait a minute, what about the abundance? What are all the things that I do have? What are all the things that I am getting, that I am growing, that I have? What about all the things that I do want? So here's the thing, and that's the biggest secret: focus on the results that you do want. And I'm going to repeat this about 10 times in this video. Focus on the results that you do want, and you will get more of the results you do want. Focus on what you don't want, you'll get more of what you don't want. Okay, it is so simple, but it took me years to really, really, really understand. And so when I was still in my job, and the moment I switched into, instead of thinking, oh, I'm a manager and I'm a corporate and I don't like this job and I'm working for a boss, that's what I was, that's where I stayed. The moment I started saying, but I love traveling the world. I wasn't traveling the world yet, but I said I was focusing on the results I wanted. I was focused on the goal that I wanted. So I started telling people, and I started in my mind saying things like, I love to travel. And I love to travel the world. And I love being an entrepreneur. I was still in a job, but I said I love and I want to be an entrepreneur. So I was focusing on the things that I did want. And so more and more when I focused on that, I attracted more of that. I suddenly attracted people that were digital nomads. That was my dream. I conversations about travel opportunity to start my business. I did TEDx talks and I published books and I started my online business and I started online. All of that while I was still in my job, you guys. That's why I always talk about the transition. I never say take the leap towards your goal. But the key thing remains focus on the lack, focus on what you don't want, you'll get more of that. Focus on the results that you do want, and you'll get more of that. So, when we're talking about financial freedom, people focused on their debt and their finances, on their struggles, and writing down, like, oh, I owe so much money, and this and that is going wrong. You get more of those problems. Is that making sense? And the more you think, okay, even if you're in debt and you focus on, okay, how much money do I want to earn? And write down the amount of money you do want to earn and write down the amount of money that you want to see in your bank account. Write down your goal, write down the results that you want. Write down that goal. I talk about affirmations a lot. It's when I started writing down my affirmations, like, I'm so happy and grateful that I am earning this amount of money, that I am growing on YouTube, that I am financially free. I'm so happy and grateful that I am traveling the world. I was writing that down, and what do you think I'm doing now? I'm having everything that I wrote down is happening. And I want that for you too. Oh, my voice is going in and out. That's so strange. Um, so yeah, so that's really what I want for you. So focus on what you do want. Focus on the results that you do want. That is so, so, so important, you guys. Is that making sense? Focus on growth. Yes. Yes, it's a mindset shift and it takes effort. Okay. It takes effort day after day after day. Don't you think that I have days thinking, like, oh, I'm not sure, and I have my doubts, but I trained my mind over and over and over again that I'm shifting right away. The moment my mind is like, I'm not sure, I'm hesitant, I'm doubting, boom, I switch it and I'm like, I want this result. I'm getting this result. I'm achieving my goal. I'm so happy and grateful. I am achieving this goal. So constantly, constantly shifting your mind. And does that take effort? Yes. Why do you think only 1% of the entire population is so successful? Because they put in the effort in their mindset day after day after day after day. So it's super, super, super important. What you focus on, you get. Now, I'm going to continue on this focus because the attitude of abundance is key. You focus on the lack, but the lack of evidence, okay, let's say the lack of financial results, you don't have evidence. So, okay, so the lack of evidence is not evidence of lack. The lack of evidence is not evidence of lack. The lack of not having the finances or financial result is not evidence that you're never going to get it because you can get it. You can achieve it. All right. So lack of evidence is not evidence of lack. You have to focus on abundance, okay? So your wealth is a direct reflection of your thinking. And your thinking is a direct reflection of your attitude. Now, what is your attitude? Check in with yourself. What is your thinking? Are you focusing on what you don't like? Are you focusing and thinking about your debt and the results you don't want and the job you don't want? Or are you having an attitude of, wait a minute, that's interesting. Let me analyze my thoughts and let me shift my thoughts into what I really do want. Because I do want to quit my job and I do want to travel. Let me know, what is that you do want? If you write it down in the comments or in the chat, that's already your first step. That's your first step in achieving it. Write down what you do want. Write down your goal in the chat, because writing down, the power of writing it down, it's insane. It's really insane. It's so powerful. So write down your goal in the chat. Let me know what your goal is. So remember, your wealth is not a result of looking at your numbers. Your wealth is a result of your thinking. Your thinking is a result of your attitude. What attitude do you have? If you have debt, if you are in a situation you don't want to be in, then tell yourself, that's interesting. Let me see how I can change that. But most people, what do? They're in a situation they don't like, and they're like, oh, I'm miserable, and I don't want to be here, and I don't like it, right? And what do? You get more of that. But if you shift that, and that's hard. That takes effort. It takes daily effort, because if you're in a situation, in poverty, in what's the word I'm looking for here, adversity, right? If you're in a situation of adversity, you're thinking, I'll never get out of here, right? I'll never get out of here. That's not true. Just tell yourself, that's interesting. How can I shift it? How can I achieve the things that I do want in my life? And always look at the results you do want. Have an attitude of, yes, I'm going to set a goal, and I'm not going to be satisfied until I achieve that goal. And that goal is your standard. And then every action you take has to be in harmony with that goal. This is powerful, guys, what I'm saying here. Every action that you take day after day after day has to be in harmony with your goal. That's why I keep talking about your goal, having a clear goal. That's what I do in the first weeks working with my clients that I'm coaching, is setting a very clear goal, a CETA goal, a goal that scares you and that excites you, a goal that you're like, I really want to achieve, make my yearly income a monthly income, for example. It's super scary because you're thinking, how the heck am I going to do that? But with a clear goal, and you don't even know how to achieve it, that's your goal. Then you're making a decision to achieve it, and actions that you take will be in harmony with that goal. That will be your standard. Everything that's not in harmony with that goal, you say no. You say no to everything that is not going to get you to that goal, to that amount of money that you want, to that career that you want, to starting that business that you want. Every action that you take has to be in alignment with your goal, and everything else you say no to. And again, yeah, you may think this is simple, but it's not easy, it's too difficult. That's why so many people don't succeed, because they stay stuck. They stay stuck in fear. Oh, but that's uncomfortable. Let me stay in my familiar comfort bubble and just do my job and just work for a boss and just have my monthly paycheck, because going out there outside of my comfort zone, doing something I've never done before, having a goal of so much money, and I'll never get it. Boom. What are you doing? You're putting your thought of fear, and you're letting fear take power over your thoughts, over your attitude, over your behavior, over every action that you take. Don't do it. When you take control of your mind and your thoughts, and you shift it over and over again, like, I'm going to achieve this goal, this is my standard, this is what I'm going to do. Every action goes towards that. Every time you get a setback, you will not let it take power over you, because you have a goal. You're always going towards that goal. Day after day, I'm writing down my goal, I'm writing down my information. I'm doing that too. I'm doing that too, and I'm achieving it. So if you don't believe in yourself, believe in the belief that I have in you to achieve it. I didn't believe in myself in the beginning. I believed in the coach who believed in me. I believe in the belief of Bob Proctor believing in me. And that's how it goes, because in the beginning we don't believe it, right? But then we look at all these successful people who are doing this, and who have done it exactly how I'm telling you here, and it works. So why would you not believe it? Would you rather continue the life that you have right now? And then where will you be in 10 years from now? You'll be still stuck in the situation where you are, maybe even worse, and you'll be 10 years older. And then Are you going to change then? Today. Now is the time. Now is the time. Let me quickly have a look at your comments here. Ciao, 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 ciao. Yep. Mm, let's see. Bob Proctor is amazing. Yes. A goal of financial freedom, working with clients, flexibility. Yes. Have a goal. If you have a goal, one big tip is have a clear goal. Okay. So have an amount of money. Make it uh, put an amount on it, put a number on it, whatever your goal is. Make it very clear because you have to be able to measure it. Like some people would be like, yeah, my goal is to be more confident. How can you measure it? You have to have a clear goal. What is that you want? How much money do you want to earn? How many clients here do you want to earn? Okay, Joan. So I think that's really, really important. When you say flexibility, what exactly? Put an amount to it. Okay, really, really important because then you can measure it and that's how you see your growth. Like for me on YouTube, it's like one extra subscriber, one extra view, one extra watch hour. Every number counts, and that's how I see my growth, and that's how I can focus on my growth. On your income as well, like, okay, put a dollar amount on it. Okay, and then you can see your growth. Let's see. Melanie says, think of the best case scenario, not the worst case. Yes, that's a great advice that I take all the time. And still, my parents, who I was raised and I love them, they're still always thinking about the worst case scenario, and I'm always there to turn it around. Like, why? Like, oh, how many people were like, Rachel, it's the pandemic. How can you travel? What if you get stuck? What if you can't come back? What if, this year I made the massive decision to sell my home? Literally, I sold everything. This is not my home. I'm traveling the world. I'm always in other people's homes. So I sold my home. That was massive. And then how many people, especially my parents, like in my family, my friends, like, what were you doing? And not having a home and always the worst case scenario. And I'm like, it's gonna be fine. I will be fine. I don't know where I'll be in 2 months, but I'll be fine. I trust I'll be fine. I'm just thinking about the best case scenario, and it's very, very, very helpful. Okay, what you focus on grows. Yes, absolutely. Mindset. Yes, not looking at what we don't have. Exactly. Don't focus on the lack. You get more lack. Focus on the depth you have. Focus on the adversity. You'll get more of that. It's a choice. It's such a simple choice. And people are not getting it. When I chose to be stuck in my job, I stayed stuck in my job. When I chose for no, I want financial freedom and that's my goal and that's where I'm going to, every action will follow. I promise you. I promise you. Um, What we focus on grows. What else do we have? That's why I'm putting on blinders with my current job and focus more on what I want. That's amazing, Joan. Yes, yes. Put your blinders on. Focus on what you do want and keep focusing. Because also, when you focus on what you do want and you surround yourself more and more with people that are doing what you do want, you get motivated, you get support, you see and you receive more opportunities. But if you stay surrounded with the people in the job where you're stuck, with the colleagues who you don't even want to stay with, you'll stay stuck, right? So the more you focus on what you want, the more you will attract other people, the more you will attract other places, other networking, other, maybe Facebook groups, other conversations, other ideas, everything. When you focus daily on your goal, and I suggest you write it down and have a really clear goal, the more you attract. It's just like attracts like. And this is the same thing. The more you focus on your goal, the more you stay in a really good vibration, the more you will attract the things that you want. Focus on your results. And the difficult part is, and what people don't get is like, wait a minute, how can I focus on, let's say you want to earn 100,000 a month. Rachel, how can you focus on 100,000 a month if I'm not having that amount in my bank account? And that's where people fall back all the time. But focus on that amount. Focus on that new career. Focus on being the coach you want to be. Focus on the entrepreneur you want to be. Keep focusing on that, and you will attract more in that direction. But if you focus on the things that you don't have, like, but wait, I don't have clients. Okay, well, then you don't have clients and you'll stay in that position of not having clients. Oh, but I'm not a coach. Remember, I said to one of you, like, oh, well, you tell yourself you are a coach, even if you don't have clients yet. But if you keep saying like, "Oh, but I'm a manager in my job," which is something that I did for a long time, like, "Oh, but I'm stuck and I'm working for a boss and I didn't like it," and that's all I received. When I focused on the results that I wanted, even if I was not yet having them, I attracted more. It's the only reason I am living my dream life. I am an entrepreneur. I am a digital nomad. I am traveling the world. Why? Because while I was still in my corporate job, I kept telling myself the language, the words I use, like, I love traveling. When somebody asked me, like, hey, Rachel, what do you do? Oh, well, I love traveling. I'm starting a YouTube channel. I'm earning money online. Maybe I was earning $5 a month. Who cares? But I told myself, that's what I want. That's the result that I want. So I said, like, to people who didn't know me, or to myself in my own thinking, I am a coach. I am an online entrepreneur. I have my online business. Even if I was earning, I was still starting up everything. I was still in my corporate job. So for you, I want you to focus on the results you want. Focus on the results you want, even if you're not seeing them yet. The results are not there yet. The $100,000 is not in your bank account yet every month, yet, but you're open to those opportunities. You're open to achieving that. And when you keep focused on that, you will get there. And a lot of people don't know, how am I going to get there? But the how comes when you stay focused, when every day you write down your goal, when every day you write down your affirmations. I'm so happy and grateful. You put a date on it, like 21 March 2022. I'm so happy and grateful. I'm a successful entrepreneur online. I'm in Australia traveling. I don't know, whatever your goal is. And it really, really works. Good. I can see some amazing comments. Thank you so much. Great advice. Yes, what you focus on amplifies. Yes, yes, yes. I love you guys. I really, really do. I think for now, like, I'm gonna repeat it one more time. Really focus on the results that you do want. And in Bob Proctor's program, he always draws a big R, like a really big R. And he's always like, focus on the results you want, focus on it. He repeats it like over and over and over again. And it really took a long time for me to understand it, because I was always focused on the lack. Like, but I don't have evidence. I don't see it in my bank account. I don't have it. Like, if you want an amazing relationship, like, then focus on, sorry, guys, I'm going to bring it to a landing because I keep freezing. And that's what happens in different countries. Back next week for another live, another session, and type your takeaways